Hi, if you don't know me, I'm Kate. I just wanted to do a little get ready with me because I'm going out. But I also wanted to talk about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie and the things that I personally enjoyed about it, but also the things that made it not so Five Nights at Freddy's for me personally. I have no actual mirror, so I do kind of have to use what I can. So I was watching the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and it was a lot different than I was expecting, especially lore-wise. I was a little bit confused at first, but obviously as the film goes on, you understand more about it. And I know that people have already started theorising about it, maybe for movies going forward. I do want to start off by saying it was a very, very good film and I did really, really enjoy it. I think the way that the animatronics were amazing and they were done really, really well. One of my favourite scenes was the spring lock scene, and I was very, very scared for that scene in case they made it too child friendly and was gonna keep it more on the PG side of things, and I'm glad that it had a close-up of the spring locks going inside, just stabbing them. I really liked the way that they done it with Vanessa too, and I didn't clock on until towards the end, Vanessa. And I was just like, yeah. Like all throughout the film I was just like, oh yeah, Vanessa, cool. And then something in my head just clicked and I was just like, Vanessa! Oh! I think that was a bit of a dumb moment for me there. I also really enjoyed the Foxy run because Foxy, as always, had visible movement within the games. So, obviously, seeing him run down the corridor, great to see. But it wasn't really like he was running, it was just kind of like he glided across the floor. One of the things that did majorly ruin the movie for me though, and that made it feel like it didn't have the Five Nights at Freddy's factor. It was the fort scene with all the animatronics, Abby, Mike and Vanessa, and I felt like it made the film a bit too kid friendly. In my opinion, it wasn't really Five Nights at Freddy's scare or horror, or it was too happy. I think that's the word that I want to use. It was too happy and I don't know, I think it wasn't needed in the film. Like, it just made me think, oh, this seems like it was made for kids. Like, it's made for kids to watch it, like, to be able to just sit and watch happily. But Five Nights at Freddy's is not something that you should be sitting happily and calmly in. You need the horror, you need the gore, you need the scare factor as well. To me, it was not really horror. I wouldn't class it as horror. There could have been more gore within the film, definitely. Like, a lot of people had the expectations of seeing gore, seeing a lot of blood, and I know it that in one of the scenes someone's head does get bit off. Me and my friend were joking about just being like, we're bringing back the bite of 83. My friend just turns to me and goes, that was the bite of 23. I also think a very good element of it was Chica's cupcake. And I've seen a lot of people talking about it and people talking about it's Chica's dog soul that is bound to the cupcake. And it makes sense. The cupcake was attacking Mike and attacking? Was attacking Mike and was just nomming on his ankles. But it is very dog-like, and it would make sense for Chica's dog to be possessing the cupcake. You think of Five Nights at Freddy's, you think, I'm gonna be scared shitless. That wasn't the case for this film. The taxi driver was also a very funny part of the film, and I did actually really enjoy it. I think the Dream Book was also a very, very huge part of why I enjoyed the film, and it made everything make sense. It kind of pieced everything together. You know, as soon as the kids turn up in his dream, you start to piece together just like, oh shit, yeah. A lot of people get confused with the lore on what's dream sequence and what's not, and I think this film got to clarify more of, you know, that more of the lore is a dream sequence, more than we realised. My friend also had it spoiled literally like 5 minutes before the movie started that Matt Pat was in the film. And he was just like, oh shit, oh, that's ruined for me now. And I was just like, what? And he wouldn't tell me. And then Matt Pat just turned up and I was just like, what's he doing here? I'm still waiting for Markiplier. Markiplier needs to turn up in one of them. He'd done a whole musical on it. He kind of needs to be involved. It was good the way that they introduced who the killer was, who William Afton was. And I know that some people didn't get onto it at the beginning when he's reading his file and he's just like, Mike, and then he just kind of quiets down and he's just like, you know what, never mind, I might actually have a job for you. I've already killed your brother. Might as well try and get you too. I also still am a little bit confused about Mike Schmidt not being Michael Afton, aka William Afton's son. I do enjoy that Vanessa is there for the storytelling. However, it was, I don't know, I think because I'm so used to the lore that I know from the games being about Michael Afton going under the alias Mike Schmidt to get a job as security in the place. I think it just kind of confused me a little bit. But now there's separate lore. There's this part of the lore which is divided across, like, now the movie, the games and the books. I know that a lot of people will argue, I'll just be like, this is right, no, this is right, I think it should be this, you think this theory, that's wrong. A lot of people get very opinionated about it, so like it's nice to have the different storylines, and now people can follow wherever storyline that they enjoy more. But yeah, no, the storyline in the games is a bit all over the place anyway. It's backwards and forwards, and then you've got something here all the way down here, and then you've got to try and guess from like to here from all the way down here. I don't know. Trying to piece it together like bit by bit, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But the storyline for the movie were able to sail through it more and be able to make more of an understanding from it. I think it was also cool that Abby was kind of representing Elizabeth Afton when she was going to be put in the Springtrap animatronic. I was a little bit confused about Abby in the beginning of the film and wondering like how she was such a vital part, but then there's references to Elizabeth Afton, and then, you know, she's able to communicate with the children's souls and she has a huge part of it. And even giving Bonnie a little drawing with a heart on it. I think specifically to Bonnie. I think that was very, very sweet because Bonnie is the most scared animatronic. The Golden Freddy Child as well. The Golden Freddy Child, that was a wild roller coaster for me to get my head around at first. I don't know why. um, but it made the most sense that the Golden Freddy's child was the one to put William Afton into the back room because of the speculation about Afton being taken to a hellish place and being tortured by all of the animatronics, by all of the children that he murdered, and them kind of getting their revenge back on him. And Golden Freddy Child was always seen as the most vengeful child, so that's a really, really important factor within this as well. Like, Golden Freddy Child was vengeful of what happens to them and all of the other children and everyone that was involved. So they wanted, obviously, to be the one to punish Afton because they were so angry about it. I think it was good that Vanessa finally tried to stand up for herself, because she is always seen as being kind of like the pawn to the killer, or William Afton, whatever you want to call him. So the fact that she was able to, in the film, be portrayed in a way that she wants to get back, she wants to fight back, and she wants to do something about it, even if she was being used. She tried to stop it, she tried her best to not let it happen. Yeah, Balloon Boy throughout how it's just like, I hate Balloon Boy. I feel like a lot of people will agree. Don't like Balloon Boy, hate Balloon Boy, not a fan. That's just, again, he is seen as one of the most annoying characters, so it makes sense, but throughout the film, anytime I saw him, I was just like, God, not again. Every single time. But yeah, no, they were some little pointers that I had. That's how I felt about the entirety of the film. There is more that I could say. There's not more that I am going to say. Because I still want people to have some open opinions about it. But overall, it was a solid movie. I really enjoyed it. It was very well done. It was very well made. And, you know, it is very, very enjoyable. Even people that don't like horror movies, because I wouldn't personally class her as a horror film, I would recommend it to someone who doesn't like horror to be able to watch. I will see you next time, whenever that may be. Oh yeah, if you want to catch me, head over to my Twitch. It's twitch.tv/mossarcade. I'm more active on there. I don't post videos as much anymore, but I am going to try to get back into it. But if you do want to catch me, twitch.tv/mossarcade.